if I want to go out and hire a smart person, it's industry specific to a certain extent, but generally speaking, what do I look for? Where do I start?
Typical location for IT software engineers that we start for is LinkedIn. And oftentimes, the engineer you want to hire is often not your job applicant. Say you post a job on LinkedIn saying, I want to hire an enterprise software architect with TIBCO experience or whatever. Oftentimes the people who apply for the job are not necessarily the smartest, you know, but there might be some guy working at MasterCard or, RGA or Charter, who's like a gem, who's like a total geek and expert in TIBCO software. And that guy is actually not looking for a job. He's happily, drawing great salary in a great team, and he's happily working. So for us, we found a lot of success in finding these A players by looking up people and referrals, looking up people on LinkedIn and cold prospecting them. Say not like saying like, hey, I'm trying to hire a TIBCO architect, but saying like, hey, we came across your profile. We are a headhunting firm for several large customers in St. Louis area. You seem to do great stuff. We just want to connect with you and learn what it is that you're building, things like that, build a relationship so that we can eventually help you when you're ready or when it made sense. And oftentimes, you would have spoken to a candidate, like 6-9 months ago, but you typically pitch that candidate today. And if the decision maker that wants to hire this TIBCO architect, wants to talk to that person, we do the matchmaking. So that is how, this is all like a long-term game, like it's not like you will find instant answers, essentially. And referrals, the power of referrals also is something that I would like to stress here, because whether it is getting projects for my company or finding great software engineers, referrals has been a key source for us. You and I are friends. We are trying to do real estate software. I would probably touch base with you and ask, hey Raj, we are looking for a guy that built real estate software, applications. Who is the best guy you know? And oftentimes you would give out a couple of names and send out a couple of texts introducing, connecting me and that person. And oftentimes that will be the real gem, that we did not know, that LinkedIn did not tell us. This guy wouldn't check the jobs we post, and this guy wouldn't apply for online jobs. Some people are super passive. They're just wishful. Like, yeah, this job is good for me. It takes care of all of my needs, but I'm looking for a real challenge. Those are the real good software engineers that we really want to target and hire. So attending conferences, attending meetups, technology meetups, and hosting some of them, sponsoring some of them.
Once you find somebody, what are you looking for, or what kind of tests are you using to know if they're that smart A player? Because I think it's maybe not easy, but it's probably typical that somebody will put forth a very compelling resume.
Absolutely.
Perhaps be very good at interviewing. But is there something beyond that to where you can tell, or it helps to give you an indication of, this is the type of person you're looking for?
Actually, it is slightly very easy for tech fields. Say we're trying to hire a cloud programmer or a Java programmer or a Python programmer, things like that. What we do a little different compared to other staffing firms is we send these Hacker Earth assessments and things like that. Not all companies are doing those things today, but some people are doing it. We certainly do it for the technical pieces. So what that is like, say we post a job, you apply for, for a position that we posted. One of our recruiters would get in touch with you and take your email address and send you an assessment. So that assessment is basically, pruned and set by, software by like good software engineers in our company, and it would have like a couple of coding problems and stuff like that. And we would look at the code first and see if the code that the job applicant wrote, is it good or bad, whether it works or not. And a differentiation piece we do is also the non-obvious things. Has this guy written unit tests for the code without us making it obvious that he needs to write unit tests? Good software engineers do that. So these are all great habits of hardcore, passionate software engineers that like an average Joe would not have. Like this, I'm just throwing you one example.
Yeah.
But through these tech assessments, we get a score, and we can be reasonably sure, because these assessment software, it also records the screen and shows whether they have done Google searches or whether they have copy pasted code, during this exam, things like that. So we have a reasonably solid assessment on the technical skills of the person. But there would be certain roles. Say you are trying to hire a product manager or a salesperson or project manager. Those roles, these assessments would not be there. So what we do is we set aside video. We do video interviews. We set aside, once we have a good idea that this is the software engineer, at least on paper, based on the resume that our client is looking for, we typically do like a 45-minute video interview with the candidate. And we typically try to ask them a whole bunch of questions, and we try to focus on like case studies. Hey, you're working at company X and doing this project, tell me the case study. When we ask specific questions, what is this in technical project management? Everybody knows that. But if you ask them, hey, tell me about this project and tell me what went wrong, how you solved it, what are the challenges you faced while you are doing this project, and what trade-offs or decisions have you made in the end, things like that. When we dig deep and try to talk to them for 45 minutes and build a clear, compelling write-up for the candidate, and we present the write-up and the resume of the candidate to the hiring manager. So this kind of like paying attention and doing some amount of clear due diligence before submitting to the client helped lend us credibility, things like that, with our customers as well.